where else can we go and what evidence can we look at that would indicate Pierce Marshall had anything to do with these supposed incidents? There isn't anywhere, is there?
Rusty, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, try the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, then what is the truth as to whether there is any place or any person we can go to that would provide any evidence that Pierce Marshall had anything to do with these supposed incidents?
You're looking at me.
Okay, so it all rises and falls on whether you're telling the truth. Would you agree?
That would probably be the best of it.
All right, let's look at a few other things that rise and fall on whether you're telling the truth.
Okay.
Would you agree with me that you do not have and never have had another single witness to the supposed promise to give you half by your husband? Yes or no?
I don't know. I don't run around telling that. I mean, we've talked about it at restaurants. People could have overheard. I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't say that.
All right. Then isn't it true, Ms. Marshall, that another thing that rises and falls on whether you are telling the truth is your contention that your husband promised you half of his estate?
You're saying if my word against his? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
What I'm asking you, isn't it true that there is not another single person's name in the world you can give us that ever heard J. Howard Marshall supposedly promised to give you half of his estate?
I don't know.
I don't know means you do not know of anyone, isn't that right?
I don't know of anyone. It's possible. I don't know. I didn't run around saying...
Let's just try to take them one by one. And doesn't that mean that you cannot provide us with the name of a single living human being who could testify that they ever heard J. Howard Marshall promise you half of his estate?
Well,
yes or no?
Unfortunately, my husband's not alive to testify, but I don't know what to tell you, Rusty.
The answer...
I cannot go to someone and say, hey, you heard this.
Ms. Marshall, I didn't ask you why you didn't have anybody. I'm sure you can do that later. I'm asking you, once again, isn't it true that you cannot give us the name of a single human being that ever heard J. Howard Marshall promise to give you half of his estate? Yes or no? Isn't that true?
Because we were at places.
No, ma'am. You know whether...
No, people could have overheard. I don't know.
Ms.
I don't
Marshall?
think so. I didn't run around telling it myself out of my mouth.
Ms. Marshall?
They could have heard my husband. I don't know.
Ms. Marshall, listen to my question carefully. Isn't it true that you cannot give us the name of a single human being that ever heard J. Howard Marshall promise to give you half of his estate? Isn't that true?
I'm going to be answering the same way. I don't know else how to answer that.
Don't, because you haven't answered it.
Listen
to
me.
me
To answer the question correctly.
I want you to answer yes. I want you to answer yes or no.
I can't answer yes or no on that question. I don't know if my husband told other people.
I didn't ask you any of that. Ms. Marshall, listen.
We were at dinner and we were being overheard.
Ms. Marshall.
We had Arnold there. We had Dan Manning there.
Ms. Marshall.
I don't know if it was overheard or not.
Please, Ms. Marshall, stop.
Yes, sir.
Listen to my question one more time. And you can answer this. If you listen carefully, you'll realize you can answer this yes or no. Isn't it true that you cannot give us the name of another single human being that heard J. Howard Marshall promise to give you half of his estate?
I don't know. I don't
that
think
means,
so.
Doesn't it, Ms. Marshall, you do not know the name of anybody else that could tell us that, do you?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're at the restaurants. People could have heard. Do you want me to go to all the restaurants that we ate at?
No, I want to tell you.
I
want you to tell me what you know right now. And what you know right now is
I don't know.
There's not another. You do not know the name of anybody that can support your contention, do you? That he promised you half. That's all I'm asking. You don't know anybody else, do you?
I don't know.
All right. Now, that means, doesn't it, that the issue of whether he promised you half of his estate rests solely on the question of whether you're a truth teller?
No, sir.
If you can't tell me anybody else that heard it, can you then direct me to any documents that show it?
We have documents that have been in California. There's also been documents that have been shredded by Pierce Marshall, and it surely wasn't to my benefit that documents were ended up shredded that the judge ordered them to turn over. So,
Ms. Marshall, you've been in this courtroom and heard what this judge tells you, haven't you?
yes, sir.
All right. What was my question to you just now?
Can you rephrase it, please?
Yes.
I mean, we
Can
say
you
it.
direct us to any single document that shows that J. Howard Marshall promised you half of his estate?
I'm saying I can't because Pierce Marshall is shredded, and we have documents in California that are related to my case that
Ms. Marshall?
I can't talk about.
Ms. Marshall,
Yes.
is the answer to my question that you cannot show us and direct us to a single document that shows Mr. Marshall promised you half?
I would have to get back to you on that one, Rusty.
Okay. Well, that's very nice of you, Ms. Marshall, but I'm asking you right now, do you know of any?
I will have to get back to you because I'm going to have to go and look at papers.
When this is all over, Ms. Marshall, wouldn't you and I both prefer that neither of us get back to the other?
Oh, gosh.
All right. So why don't we try to do it now?
Because I can't tell you now.
All right.
I have to go look at the legal documents
Isn't it
that
true?
were done in California.
Isn't it true that you have testified previously that you do not know of a single person or a single document that shows that J. Howard Marshall promised you half of his estate? Have you?
Sir?
Have you testified that way before? Just all I'm asking you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. That's all I need.
No, I need to finish my answer.
Go
I
ahead.
testified to that, but that's before all my attorneys and
Ms.
the
Marshall,
judge made
stop.
Pierce
Stop.
Marshall give
Stop.
all of the
I asked that she be
papers and
instructed to
stuff.
stop.
You said
And
I
I-
could explain my answer.
No, that's not an explanation, that's a speech. It's not an explanation of the answer. The answer's called the yes or no question.
Judge,
But Your Honor,
You're saying things, your lawyer's gonna have an opportunity to give you examination and ask you questions. To an extent you can answer those, you still can't give speeches.
but I don't know.
Question and answer.
I'm sorry, but I don't know between a speech and.
Your Honor, I asked the jury be.
If the question says yes or no, then you say yes or no.
Your Honor, I
Some
asked.
explanation is necessary.
I know, but Your Honor, you told me after I said yes
What
or no that I
explanation
could.
is necessary?
Can I-
The question of whether you know of a document that says that. What explanation is necessary? Do you know of a document? Yes or no?
I told Mr. Harding that I would have to get back to him because I would have to go back through those documents in California.
Your Honor, may I ask the jury be removed while I argue a motion for contempt?
How am I contempting myself?
Step out to back at 11:20.
We got him? We have him now?